everybody. Welcome to the Yarn and You Girl podcast. I'm Janine, also known as Yarn and You Girl, and this is my podcast about knitting. And sometimes some other crafty stuff gets thrown in there, but it's mostly about knitting. So welcome. I'm so glad you made it over here. I hope that you enjoy the show. And I really am glad that you decided to spend a little bit of time with me today. I love hanging out with you guys. I love interacting with this community. And everybody who is here, it's just amazing. So thank you. Today is July 11th, and it's a Tuesday, and I seem to be podcasting lately on Tuesdays. It seems to be working out okay, so I hope that's working out for all of your schedules as well. There's tons of podcasters out there, and it's kind of nice to know when people are going to be uploading their videos. So mine lately have been happening on Tuesdays. I can't always guarantee that that's the case, but sometimes it is. I also wanted to point out that she's laying down right now, but if you happen to see a dog get up and walk around, that is Zoe. And Zoe is a Weimaraner, and I am watching her for my sister-in-law and her husband. And yeah, so she has to be here in the room with me. I had her outside of the door, and she sat at the door and whined while I was kind of prepping for everything. And I really don't want her whining. I just wanted to point that out in case you guys thought maybe I got rid of my other dog. I did not. Tonks is still here. He's just in the other room. When I have the two of them together, they just growl and play and just bark, and they're really, really loud. And yeah, it's kind of distracting and a little makes the nerve endings just go, I just want to freak out. So I have to separate them sometimes, and usually I don't have Tonks or anything up here in the room with me. I just prefer no distractions, but Zoe needed to be near somebody because Weimies are a little not necessarily high maintenance, they're kind of high maintenance, but they're high anxiety, and they're stressed out a bit, and they've got lots of energy, and so she really needs to be with somebody. So if you happen to see her, or if she gets up, periodically she may bark. She barks fairly loudly, and it can be quite startling. So I'm going to apologize ahead of time for that. This is the second time I've recorded this beginning, and there has already been, in the first recording, I did a 3-minute kind of intro where I was trying to get things going, and my other dog started barking, and then she started barking, and it was just a little overwhelming. So I decided I would restart the podcast. Anyway, that's just a little side note, not at all about knitting. I just wanted you guys to know, in case you see a random dog wandering around in the room, that she's supposed to be here. Or if you hear a random bark, that I apologize for the loud, startling noise. Anyway, so this episode is, I have kind of a bit to talk about, but I always feel like I have a bit to talk about, and then I don't know if I do or not. You guys are the judge of that. But I have prizes to give away. I have information on my shawl, when the pattern will be released. That's coming up soon, so I'll talk about that in just a minute, and then I'll announce prizes for the two project bags that I have. I did a 600 subscriber giveaway in the last episode, so I hope you were able to get on there and answer the little prompt, and then so I will do the announcement for the winners, and then I'll start talking about FOs and whips and stuff that I've gotten in the mail lately. So first off, let's talk about the Yexa shawl. This is the Yexa shawl. It's my latest shawl design. It's a combination of some lace, texture, and striping. It is a true triangle shawl, and it uses DK weight yarn. I have dyed up yarn specifically, or have combos of DK weight yarn available in the shop for pre-orders for this shawl. So there's still time to get that in. I'm going to be releasing the pattern on Ravelry on July 28th is the date I'm shooting for. So I'm hoping to get the pre-orders out in the mail probably next week. So hopefully they'll be out in the mail next week. So if you have a chance, and if you're interested in getting a hold of some of that yarn and you want it before the release, please go onto my website, which is yarnandyou.com, and order some of the combos. If you do that, you will end up getting a printed copy of the pattern along with an E-code Ravelry download and one skein of the main color and contrast color. So this combination that I have is the, I'm trying to remember, chocolate covered berries kit. This one is this pink with the speckle is whipped berries, and this one is cinnamon mocha. And then I have quite a few other combinations. I had some test knitters, and they are all finished now. I had given them till the end of July, but every one of them got done quite quickly. So definitely, if you want to see some of the other color combinations that are actually knit up, you can please check out the Naughty Knitwits podcast. Both Leslie and Michelle did the test knit for me, which is so interesting because I didn't know that they never test knit anything before. They said that on their show when they were showing it off, and they both looked so beautiful, and they had chosen sort of a similar solid color with a white based speckled, so the white base with color speckles, and Leslie's was blue, like a blue version, and Michelle's was a pink and black and white version. So if you want to check theirs out, please go over. It's not their most recent episode, but I think it's the one from 2 weeks ago that they posted, and they show them off on that episode. And then also Lisa, who is Saratoga Knitting, or she also does the Knitting by the Sea podcast. She just finished her test knit, and she did hers in the same colorway that I did. I believe she might have done it opposite, though. I'm not sure. She might have done brown here and pink here. So, anyway, so check theirs out. Those are a couple of the different color combinations and options available. And then there are more on the website. So if you want to get them ahead of time, please go on there and order it. You end up getting the pattern for free if you order a kit. And like I said, you'll get a printed copy of the pattern and a Ravelry download for your digital library. So those pre-orders are going to be going on. Basically, I'm calling them pre-orders until I send them out. And then once the kit or the project is live, I will have those kits available, but they will not be, obviously, they won't be pre-orders anymore. They will be full kits. And they're just, if you want to get them ahead of time and be ready for the release date, please go on and do that. I don't think I talked about places you can find me on the internet. You can find me on Instagram as Yarn and You. I'm on Ravelry as Yarn and You Girl. I'm on Facebook as Yarn and You. And that's kind of where I am. So that's that. But anyway, this is the Yexa shawl. I really love it. I want to do another combo. It's just really wears very nicely, and it is such a good size. It's a little warm right now, but that's okay. It's not very warm very often. I mean, it doesn't stay warm very often here in the Northwest, so no biggie. Anyway, so that's that. And the next thing I want to talk about, I wanted to talk about my 600 subscriber giveaway. So posted a thread in the Ravelry group. There is a Ravelry group, by the way. It's called the Yarn and You Girl podcast group, and it's just under the groups tab. I do giveaways there. I do show notes. However, guys, I'm sorry I didn't post any show notes last time I podcast. I totally just spaced out, and at this point I don't think I'm going to do them. So I might just have a link to the video as my show notes. So if you have questions or you saw anything that was on the show last episode or you can't remember, please just message me and I'll let you know what the name of it was or whatever. I don't mind doing that at all. I just did not do show notes. This summer is a little hard for me for doing the podcast, partly because the kids are home and I feel like all I do is sit them in front of their video games and be like, be quiet and play your video games for the next 2 hours. I don't want to do that all that often because I feel like they're addicted to, like I'm addicted to knitting, they're addicted to video games. So, yeah, I need to curb the obsession a little bit with the video games. So I don't try to park them in front of them very often, but it happens. And I'm going to yawn. Sorry, you guys. I got up kind of early this morning. My husband's convinced me to run a half marathon with him. I've done one before. I hated it. Like, I'm not a runner. I don't like to run. I don't mind working out. I really like to work out, but I don't like to run. So I had, in fact, the funny thing is I was just telling my sister, like a week before this all went down, I have done the whole half marathon thing. I have no interest in doing a marathon, no interest in doing another half marathon. No, thank you. And then I think my husband must have heard that because a week later he was like, we should do another half marathon. And it's been probably 10 years since I did one. Maybe more like 8 years since I did the last one. The kids were little. I think I pushed them around. Oh my goodness. I think I pushed them around in strollers, when I was running. Yeah. Now, they're old enough. We can leave them for an hour when we do our run. But he literally, convinced me to do it. And I was like, oh, really? I don't want to do another half marathon. But he's the kind of guy, I don't want to say no to him. And if he's interested in doing something with me, he likes to work out too, and I like to work out. And we used to go to the gym a lot together, but most of the time these days I do my workouts at home. So for me, I'm looking at it as a way to spend time with my husband. He really wants to, do this, so I'm going to support him, and I'm going to do it too. I'm not happy about it. Not really. I'm tired. Today was it's like a 10-week training thing that we're doing. And we started on Sunday. And today was my second run. And, yeah. I'm sore. I'm tired. I don't like it. But I signed up for it. I did get some new Nikes out of it, though. And some new workout gear. So you could say he bribed me to run this half marathon with him. I'll keep you guys posted on how the training is going because, it's going to be going on for 10 weeks. I was thinking it might be fun to do like a knit along for these 10 weeks, something that is half marathon related, but that just popped into my head this morning and I really haven't thought about it. And oh Lord, this is not going to be good, guys. Oh my goodness. I think I'm going to go get some coffee really fast. And hopefully the yawns will stop. So bear with me and I will be right back. And we will really get into some knitting content. Okay? Okay, I'm back. It's actually not coffee. It's Spark. Spark is one of my favorite energy drinks in the world. And I live on this stuff. So figured it was a little too hot for coffee today. So I'm hoping that this will work. Anyway, let's get down to business. So, 600 subscriber giveaway. That's what I was talking about. So, I got my show notes here. I did random number generator, and we had 30 entries. So, I did 2 through 30 because I was entry 1, because that was the post for ask the question or whatever. So the first number is going to get the Creative Obsession Drawstring Project Bag, which is this one. And that went to post number 9, which is Riza Marie. So congratulations, Riza Marie, that you're going to get that Creative Obsession Drawstring Project Bag. Please contact me and let me know your address. Although I think you might have ordered something from me in the past. I may have it, but just contact me when you see this and refresh my memory. And then I also have a Stitch and You project bag. And that's going, so that's this one. And that is going to post number 6, which is Katrina's Creations. So congratulations, both of you guys. Thank you guys so much for being a part of my subscriber list and for entering in that podcast. So now I get to give you some free stuff. So please contact me, both of you ladies, and I will send those bags out in the mail right away. Yay! So that's the business end of the podcast, I think, and a little bit of other stuff. So let's talk about finished objects. I'm calling it finished. The ends aren't woven in, but you know what? That's good enough. These are my speckled space socks, and these are little shorties. I needed to get these finished partly because I started these in June. They were not my June socks. And I couldn't get them finished, so I needed to get them off the needles so that I could start my July socks, because I have yet to start my July socks. However, so I just made them shorties, but I kind of like this length. It's really nice. It's comfortable, and it's not too tight, and they don't droop down or anything. So yeah, these are done toe up. It's a free pattern. The pattern is by Amanda Stevens, and it's called the Speckled Space Socks. It's a really easy, like just textured, textured sections with stockinette. These are these little bits right here. These are little single cables to give you the angle, but those are very easy. I don't even use a cable needle for those. I don't even actually cable. I do them as twisted stitches. And so there's a twist to the right or a twist to the left, and they, to me, come out looking exactly the same as if I used a cable needle or if I actually like held one in front or whatever. I feel like this is a lot easier, and I've done that with my Farmer McGregor socks and a couple other patterns that I've done as well. So I really liked these. Obviously, you can see I've tucked the ends in up here. And then, so I think there's a couple different sizes. I think I did the 64 stitch size. I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel, which her heel is a gusset heel, but I just did Fish Lips Kiss. Part of the other reason I made them shorties was because the way the pattern worked, I did them 2 at a time. And the way the pattern worked is when you got to start the leg and you started to do the textured section on the back of the leg, I was either going to just leave it blank because part of the front stitch had to work, like the last stitch from the front and the first stitch from the back, some of them had to be like worked together to get that continuous seam. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it would have been very difficult to do that 2 at a time, and because I was doing them 2 at a time, I just didn't want to hassle, so I just left it blank here, and I was going to continue to leave it blank and just do the texture on the front, but instead I just decided to cut them off after this very last textured section, and I did a 2x2 rib, and I did just a standard bind off where you knit 2 and then you slip the one over and then you knit the next one and then you slip it over. I have figured out a way to do that relatively loosely. I just kind of pull out the stitch, kind of make a bigger loop when I do it, because I've done the stretchy bind off and the sewn bind off, and it flares quite a bit. Even when I do it like this, it flares a little bit, but it's better, I think, and it looks better. So anyway, those are my Speckled Space socks. The yarn is, where did I put it's in my project bag. The yarn is Yoshi and Lucy, and it is on the, her Brilliant base. That's Yoshi and Lucy. And it is 75, 20, 5. So 75% super wash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. It is called Dark Magic. It's a 2-ply. And I do have still quite a bit left. I have it in 2 cakes. It's really pretty. Super pretty color. I could probably do another pair of shorty socks out of these, maybe with contrasting cuff or contrasting heels and toes. And I might actually do that. Maybe some Rose City rollers. I haven't done the Rose City rollers, and I was thinking, since I really enjoyed the shorty version of this, a Rose City roller pair would be really fun. So I might end up doing that with my leftovers. But, you know, I'm not super good at using my leftovers. I talk real big about putting them in a scrappy blanket, and it doesn't happen. I've got ADD brain where it's like, squirrel, next project. So that's all I feel like sometimes, is it's just squirrel, yarn, squirrel. Yarn and squirrel, they're synonymous. Anyway, so that's my finished object. I only have the one. I almost have a half object done. Let me find that. Oh, wait, no, I lied. I have another finished object, but it's not knitting. It's a sewing object. So I did, last time I talked about getting that skirt number 1 pattern that everybody was talking about. And so I made a skirt. And I used this really kitschy camping pattern. I put pockets in there. I did the elastic a little bit looser than they called for. She said to do it like 8 inches smaller than your actual size. And that looked like a scrunchie when I had it. I actually sewed it in, and it was literally all scrunched up. It looked like a scrunchie. And when I put it on, it was like, oh my gosh, that's the tightest elastic ever. And it's supposed to be a comfortable skirt. So I just took it out, and I made it like 2 inches smaller than the size. So it's very relaxed and loose and not super gathered, which I like. And it has pockets. I kind of messed the pockets up a bit. I didn't line them up super well. And, oh, shush. I didn't line them up super well. But, oh, Zoe. Hey, it's okay. Come here. It's okay. It's all right. Yeah, is that the other puppy? So I didn't line the pockets up super well, but I like the way it turned out. I still have to get some pinking shears. Oh my goodness. It's okay. I still have to get some pinking shears and do the seams, which I should have done that before I sewed, but whatever. I do have some other fabrics that I've cut, and I've got ready to make some more. But this was really fun, and it's super easy. I bought a couple t-shirts to wear with it, but I don't like the t-shirts. They're the ones that have like that scoop down at the waist, and those don't look very good on me, and I didn't realize they were scooped like that when I bought them, so I'm gonna have to figure out something else. I ordered some tank tops, so maybe that'll work. But yeah, this will be nice for summer, nice for just fun and kind of crazy hang out around the house. So that's my skirt number 1, the first one I've made. And yeah, so that's another finished object. So then I have another knitting project. You guys have seen these quite a bit now. These are the Harlequino socks, and these are done with the Regia Arn and Carlos color 03655. I think it's called Fall Night, but I don't know if that's really what it is called. I am almost done with my very first one for me. So I just finished today like doing the front triangle here and the back triangle here, and now I just have to join them to do the cuff for a little bit, and then one sock will be done. So these are the socks that are kind of done. They're done in individual diamonds, and then you join them all together by picking up your stitches, or, you know, taking out your provisional cast-ons and picking up your stitches, and then kind of creating the sock in that way. It's a really cool construction. sock. This is now the third sock that I've done, and these ones fit my feet much better. The first pair I made, they ended up being too small, so I gave them to my son. He really likes them, but I told him I have to keep them in my box of socks for a while, until at least I get 12, and then I can take a picture of them and enter them, and then he can put them in his drawer, because I don't want him to lose them. I think he probably will, but he has worn them already, even though it's summertime, so that's kind of cool. So this is my first one, and it's again, Regia, Arn and Carlos. It's just a 75 virgin wool, 25% nylon, or 25% polyamide, which I think is just another word for nylon. Honestly, I don't know. But, yeah, these are so cool. So this is the Harlequino sock by Marguerite Vonkeman, I believe. Let me see if I can find the beginning. This pattern is like 14 pages long or something ridiculous. And I have lost track of where it starts, and I just work, when I'm working on the pattern, I've got the page that I need, and then I don't know what happens to the rest of it. Yeah, Marguerite Vonkeman, Harlequino. They're really cool. They're definitely not an easy sock to do. So if you've never knit socks before, they're not really the first sock I would go for, for sure, but they're really fun, and the construction is very cool. If you want to use up scraps for something like that, that would make a very cool way to use up scraps, by doing, your different diamonds in different socks, or sock yarns, not socks. So that's that. And let's see, so that's my first whip. I'm almost done with one, so it's almost a half object, but it's not really. So the next whip you guys have seen, I have to dig it out here. It's in my Alice in Wonderland You So-and-So project bag. This is my biggest project bag, biggest zippered project bag that I have. Guys, seriously, I need to make myself some more project bags, because the next project that I'm going to show you is in a reusable grocery bag, because I have not enough project bags for all the projects, and I've got projects sitting in project bags that I'm not using, so I really need to take care of some of the stuff and get it out of my project bags. Anyway, and I need bigger ones. I have my own Stitch and You bag. Hey, Zozo, shush, it's okay. I have my own Stitch and You bag, but it's only really big enough for socks, so I can't really put a sweater in there. So I need bigger project bags. So I do have some fabric from a dress that I was making for myself that I tried to finish here recently, and it didn't work out so well. It had a collar on it, and I didn't put the collar on right, and then I did something wrong with it had a button placket here, and I did something wrong with that. So after it had all got sewn together, I couldn't get my head through the neck, which was dumb. And I couldn't, when I put the collar on, I did something funky with it, and so then taking it apart, the fabric itself is very fragile, kind of really lightweight. It was that cotton lawn stuff, and so pretty lightweight. And the more I ripped out, used my seam ripper to rip out the stitches, the more the fabric started to look a little beat up. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna end up making a big project bag for myself out of that fabric, because now it's cut and it's in a bunch of pieces, and I don't think it'll be good for anything else. Unfortunately, it was beautiful fabric too, and I don't know. So she's whining quite a bit. I'm gonna have to figure out something. So I'm gonna pause again. Sorry, you guys. I've got a crazy dog here today, and I'm gonna maybe put her in the other room in her crate for a little bit, and then I'll see if that helps calm her down. So hang on. Okay, so I just went and put her in her crate with the other dog. But I grabbed the fabric that I had, tried to do this dress in, and it's just gorgeous. It's cotton and steel, I believe, and it's just really lightweight. So I think what I'll end up having to do is either put some batting in between the 2 layers or some interfacing to give it a little bit of texture. But I've got enough of the skirt that I think I could make myself a decent sized project bag with the skirt. So I want a big sweater project bag because, like I said, this one is really the biggest one I have, and it fits a sweater just fine, but it's pretty full, and I've got my breathing space in here, which I'm almost done with the body. I'm like so almost done with the body. I can't even wait, but I need a couple more inches, and I feel like it's just going on and on forever and ever. So this is breathing space. Oh, these are the strands from this is by Sweater Pattern by Vera Valmaki, and it is in the Interpretations Volume 3 collection that she did with Joji Locatelli. And so I am using La Jolla, which is 100% superwash merino fingering. In the purple color here is lavender, and the speckled is dragon. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember. Hang on, let me see. Dragon tail. So I finished the striping section on the body. Now I'm just working on the bottom, and I have to get this bottom edge from the armpit to be like at least 14.5 inches on this side, the shorter side. And I feel like every time I measure, it's at 12 inches. Like no matter how far I go, it's at 12 inches. So I'm working on that. So far I have this much left of the dragon tail. I had to wind it up into this little ball because my ball winder is a mess and it's been causing a lot of problems lately. So I'm going to be getting a new one, I think, but I haven't decided yet when that's going to happen. So I've got this much left of that, so that should be plenty for the sleeves. And then this is I'm only into my second skein here. So I'm hoping I have enough. I did buy a third skein of the same dye lot and everything. So I'm hoping I'll have enough. It's interesting because I bought the third skein and I set it aside, and thank goodness I did because I reordered and the new lavender that came in is quite a bit lighter. So that just goes to show if you're going to buy yarn for a project, you want to try to get as much as you can, enough for the whole project, because it is significantly lighter, the other lavender that came in the shop. So it would not match this very well at all. They'd be quite different. So anyway, I'm glad I bought that extra skein because that will work out perfect. I'm hoping I may not even need to bust into it, but if I do, I have it and it will match. So this is breathing space. I'm really, really excited about it. I've slowed down a bit and I haven't worked on it in the last couple days because I want to get it done, but like I said, this bottom edge has been going forever and ever, and I got sidetracked by another project that, let's face it, it's summertime and sweaters are hot, and yeah. So I got a little sidetracked by a shawl pattern, which doesn't, isn't any better because it's hot out there too, and I probably won't be wearing the shawl, but yeah. So this has gone on the back burner for just a few minutes. I'm sure I'll pull it out as soon as I have another pair of socks done or whatever. I'm gonna do something. I don't know, but I will finish this. I'm gonna be working on this quite a bit, but it's been sitting now for a couple days because I'm really excited about this next project. And so this is the one I'm using a reusable garbage bag for as my project bag. But look, I found it and it's so cute. So I happen to have this bag inside one of my project bags. It was one of those ones that crinkles up and you stuff it in a little sack, and I thought, oh, should I move out this other project that I need to keep, working on, but I don't want to work on it right now and use that, or oh, look, here's another bag. This will be perfect. So I just decided that I would use this for my newest project. And it's a 2-color shawl. I'm using this dark gray. This is in String Theory. Caper sock. This my sister got for me eons ago. The color is charcoal. The caper sock is an 80 superwash merino, 10% nylon, and 10% cashmere, 400 yards, fingering weight. Excuse me. And I've had this for a while. She got this for me because she was like thinking I'd make some socks out of it. And while it's beautiful gray, socks out of this would be boring for me. Like, I need exciting sock yarn. Socks are where you can like do all the fun stuff, but this is perfect neutral, perfect for like something up here around my face. Plus it's got the cashmere and it's just so soft. So, and I'm pairing it with this is Nitty Kitty bags. Let me find the tag here. I bought this a while back. Oh, where did my tag go? My goodness, I just had it. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm going crazy. Oh, there it is. Okay. Nitty Kitty bags. It's called Siberian, and it had a little like light gray mini with it. But I thought this would be perfect with this dark gray because I'm doing the Sizzle Pop shawl. And I have been wanting to do this shawl forever. And I was watching Candace of the Pin, Feathers, and Pearls podcast, and she was kind of showing hers off the other day, showing people how to wear shawls, and she pulled it out, and she made hers like a long time ago, and she's the reason that I wanted to make one in the first place. So I was like, oh yeah, I really got to make that again. I really got to get that on my list. But I haven't done a lot of brioche. I've done that small brioche section that was in the Building Blocks shawl by Stephen West. That is the only brioche I've ever done. So I was like, oh, I'm a little intimidated. It looks like crazy brioche. But then I was watching the Knitted Cupcake podcast, and Lacey was talking about the same thing. Like, she'd seen Candace showing it off, and she was like, oh, I have to cast this on. And so she had started casting it on, and I was like, okay, it must be fate. I was thinking about it, and now other people are thinking about it, and I need to get on this and just start doing it. And I can do this. It's brioche, but I remembered the Stephen West one that I did, the little section. I loved the brioche section. If you guys remember watching, or if you watched those episodes where I was working on the Building Block shawl, the brioche section was so much fun. So if you've seen the Sizzle Pop shawl, it's quite intense in looking, but it's not that bad once I figured it out. So this is mine so far. I am on the 4th repeat, and so far it's looking really good. Now this is the right side, or the main side, and this is the wrong side, or the contrast side. Now originally I had the black or charcoal one on the front, but now that one's pretty. Like, it'd be very, like, if I was wearing some bright colors, I could wear the gray side showing, but what I really love is to be able to see this, and I like this side the best. It just like pops that pink out. You can really see the stitch definition there. It's gorgeous. This pattern is amazing, and the brioche is so soft. It can be quite daunting to look at. I have learned a couple things about brioche, so let me pass on some of those tips. For one thing, when you're knitting with 2 colors in brioche, you always knit your main color. Well, at least with this pattern, and I think with all of them, you have to knit the colors in the right order. So if I do the pink first, I gotta go back and I gotta do the charcoal. So you're doing every row, you knit twice on the same side. So you work all the pink, and then you slide it back over and you work all the gray, and then you turn the work. And the reason you have to do that is just like any kind of knitting. Like if you just did the pink and then you went to turn the work, you wouldn't have your both strands of yarn at the same end. So you have to make sure you get, both of your colors back to the starting point. And in order to do that, you have to slide it back to the beginning once you're done with the pink, and then work your gray row, and then you can flip it. And then you have to start with the pink again, because you always start with the same color each time. The other thing I've learned is that if this is your color side, if this is the color that you're looking at, those rows, you're going to be brioche knitting and slipping the other stitches. So if you can't remember if you're brioche purling on a row or brioche knitting on a row, if the main color is the color of yarn that you're working with, then those stitches will be brioche knit. And then if it's the contrast color, the ones that are not the main color on that side, those stitches will be brioche purl. So that's kind of helpful. Yeah, I did take this to swim practice this morning for my kids, and I goofed a little bit on one end, so I did have to do some tinking. That's quite intense if you screw up, especially because there's these 4-stitch decreases in here where you have to get these stitches together, and it's a lot of moving the stitches around in different orders. So undoing that stitch, whoa, really, really stressful. But I think I've got it now to where I'm okay. I'm hoping, because what happened was I got all the way to the end I'd done a row here. I got all the way to the end on this side, and I dropped something or screwed up something over here, and I couldn't figure it out just looking at it. So I had to go back and redo it. So anyway, this is the Sizzle Pop shawl. It is by, let's see who it's by. I don't remember. Leslie Ann Robinson. She's Knit Graffiti Designs, and it's a really, really, really fun shawl pattern, and quite addictive once you get the hang of it. Now, guys, this is only my second time ever doing brioche, so I think this is doable for people. There's a lot of great tutorials, great 2-color brioche tutorials. I really liked the one that the Knitting Expat did. She put out a 2-color brioche shawl a while back. I can't remember the name of it. It's like Le Moulet or some kind of French thing. I don't know. It means the squishy. It is very squishy, I think. I can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember the name of it. But I have seen it, and it's really pretty. It's just an asymmetrical, straight, like brioche. There's no detail or pattern to it. Look at me, I'm all fidgety. There's no brioche, like, detailed like this, but she does a really good tutorial on how to do 2-color brioche. So if you are interested in watching that, there's a really great video that she put out. And then there was another one, and I can't remember the name of the gal who did it, but she did design type stuff and decreases, and that popped up too. So I just typed in YouTube, 2-color brioche stitch, and this one, the Knitting Expat one, she just gives lots of really good information. So I would highly recommend checking that out, or just looking at some videos. It's not hard at all. It's actually quite rhythmical, and very enjoyable. It's just once you got to get the hang of the pattern and figuring out, where you're doing. Now, the way this is written, there's a chart and there are written instructions. I've been following the written instructions where normally I follow charts on lace work and things like that. But the written instructions seem to be more clear for me right now, probably because I'm not familiar with chart symbols for brioche. So I was just following the the written instructions. And they're very clear and well written, and it's a super cute pattern. I am loving this. Loving it, and cannot get enough of it. I've just been, so this is what I've been working on when I got tired of doing the bottom row of my breathing space. This is what I picked up and decided to cast on. Originally, I don't know if I said this, but originally I did a swatch, or I started the shawl, but I used the charcoal as the main color, and I didn't really so there is some breaks in the pattern on this side. It's reversible, but you can't see, the gray just really doesn't show the stitch pattern as well as the pink, and I really wanted the pink to pop. So I ripped that out and I redid it with the pink as the main color. And I really like the way you can see the flowers and everything they look like little flower leaves to me. They're just so pretty. So this is probably the side that will be showing most of the time when I am wearing this shawl. I'm really super happy with it. Very squishy and very, very fun. So if I can do this, and this is only the second time I've ever done brioche, y'all can give it a try and do it too. But you can also do the one that the Knitting Expat, if you think this is a little intimidating, I would recommend the one from the Knitting Expat. It's the same style, knit on the bias, triangle, asymmetrical shawl, but it is straight. There's no design. It's a very repetitive, straight brioche kind of rib. It's very, very pretty and looks super squishy and very cozy to wear too. So if you're a little intimidated by this leafy pattern, then I would check out her shawl that she did, because she has really well written patterns. And I know that when she was doing that one, I really thought it was gorgeous as well. So, but this one just has so much interest to it. It's just, so amazing like that. Yeah. The back's not nearly as pretty as the front. So anyway, that's my Sizzle Pop. And I'm just playing with it, and it's in my grocery bag. What am I gonna do, you guys? Seriously. I need to make myself another bag. I got my sewing machine out. I can do it. I can bust it out. So anyway, I have only one acquisition to show, and I showed you guys my yarn club last month. This one is, I saw Dream and Fiber. She's the designer of Hermione's Everyday Socks, or Dream, well, I think she called it, at one point it might have been called Dream and Color. No, it was Dream and Fiber, I think. Oh my gosh, I'm bad. I think it's Dream and Fiber on Instagram. She does the Hermione's Everyday Sock, and she was knitting a Hermione's Everyday Sock in this yarn, and I had to go get it. It was so cool. So it's a self-striping. It's by Yarn Diet, which I think is the cutest name. Diet. This is my diet. It's all about the yarn. And the colorway is sorted, like the sorting hat with Harry Potter. So it goes, you've got this beige, and then it goes, I don't know exactly the order, but it's red, gold, red, beige, and then it's got green, silver, green, beige, and then it's got black, or yellow, black, yellow, beige, and then blue, gray, blue, or something like that. So it's all the house colors for Harry Potter in this stripe socks. Oh, these are really cool. And this is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It's a bit rustic feeling. It's not super duper soft, but it'll be perfect for a pair of socks. And I'm really, really excited. And I think just plain vanilla probably, or the Hermione's Everyday Sock that she was doing looked so gorgeous in this. So I might have to do another pair of Hermione's Everyday Sock in the striping, because This is cool. This is really cool. I thought that was awesome. So that is Yarn Diet. She's in Vermont, and she had the cutest packaging. So first of all, she sent me this little mini, which is called Earl Grey and Lavender. It's just a 5-gram little mini. Cute though. And she's got all this like eco packaging. So all her packaging is very eco-friendly. She sent me this little like pure maple syrup maple leaf candy. And then like the invoice she folded in an origami heart and taped with this cute little sticker. And all her packaging, like all the mini and the candy were all like in the envelope it made. So cute. And there's, you know, she wrote a really sweet note on that, but I just thought that was really a nice touch, the heart origami. Very cool. And so that's the yarn, the only yarn I bought for this time. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, I have some, I'll show you the other fabrics that I'm going to do for my skirts. So they have them all cut out and everything. I have this navy blue with these birds sitting on a line and flying in the background. Thought that was pretty cool. And then I have, this one is like my favorite. These are chemical structures. So that's totally me. And I've got that in this lovely gray background. It'll look really, really neat. It's kind of like a neutral, and I can wear whatever I want on top. And then I got some donuts. And from far away, these will just look like polka dots. So those are the 3 skirts that the 3 other skirts I'm going to make. I'm thinking I might give my sister the navy blue one. I say I'm going to make stuff for her all the time. So I think I'm going to make that for her and give it to her. I can be a nice sister sometimes. But anyway, that's all I've got. I'm super excited too because this weekend is the get together with the Naughty Knitwits and Carrie from the Creative Obsession. So we are meeting at the Starlight Supply Knitting Company in Portland Saturday at 11 a.m. So I'm pretty sure it's still going on. I haven't heard otherwise. I'm hoping it's still going on. I'll be there at 11, and that is really exciting. So we wanted to also extend the invitation out to anybody else who might be in the area. If you're in the Portland area on Saturday and you want to come by Starlight Supply, we would love to see you. We're all going to be there having ourselves a little knit group gathering or whatever. So it should be fun. I am really looking forward to it. I'm a little nervous. Meeting new people makes me nervous. I'm awkward sometimes when I first meet people. And yeah, so that'll be interesting. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure it will be fine. I put more pressure on myself and always feel like so much more, oh my gosh, are they going to like me? And stupid stuff that we do to ourselves. So, but it should be really fun, and I would love it if other people wanted to come and pop in and say hi. We would love to see you guys. It's totally open invitation. So we'll crowd the little shop and bring in some business. I'm sure there'll be some shopping going on and some yarn purchasing. Very, very excited. So that's what I got. Next time I see you guys will be in a couple weeks, probably right before I go on vacation, because we will be camping starting August 3rd. We're going on a 2-week camping vacation, so I'm going to try to get my next podcast up right before then, and I will have done the release. The Yexa pattern will be released by then as well. So that's it. That's all I got today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked the video, subscribe, comment below if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.